Okay. All right, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Whoops. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com, and ProCharge EV, prochargeev.com. All right, hope your Tuesday's off to a fantastic start. Football Tigers are back on the practice field this morning. Brian Kelly will meet with reporters, give an update. Just 5 more practices until the spring game a week from Saturday. So the 22nd is the spring game. So, very much obviously looking forward to seeing this team. Wow, sorry. What's going on there? My bad. Very much looking forward to seeing this team, I was going to say in action, but sort of a modified version of the team, obviously, as a lot of guys aren't going to play in the spring game. But see some of the young guys run around a bit and get to see them. Most importantly, the best news so far in spring is that you've stayed healthy, knock on wood, no major injuries. And that's really what you want to do is get through spring, get some younger guys experience, and get your veterans guys healthy. They've sat out a lot of defensive linemen. Obviously, they've sat out Deuce Chestnut, J.K. Johnson, who might well be your starting cornerbacks. Charles Turner is missing the spring. A lot of your running backs are missing the spring. So that's okay. Just have them ready to go for fall and get some young guys experience. So, all right. What happened here? Oh, okay, never mind. Sorry. All right, we'll say some good mornings here. LSU baseball's on the road tonight to take on Tulane down in New Orleans. So Tigers at the Green Wave. Sorry. I'm a little out of sorts right now. So they'll play that game at Turchin down in New Orleans. It is a 6 o'clock first pitch. Game will be on ESPN Plus, so you can stream it. As far as a pitching matchup, I'm looking at the game notes here. It doesn't say. They've been starting. Christian Little, and then Thatcher Hurd got a midweek outing last week, so I wanted to get him back out there. I'm curious because Little was slated to start Game 3 of the Carolina series, and didn't, if they pitch him here tonight to get him out there, or if because this is a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series, again, do you save Christian Little? My guess is they're probably going to want to get him work. Oddly, in the game notes, they normally list a starting pitcher, and I don't see it in the game notes for today. Yeah, neither team listed a starting pitcher, which is odd, but anyway, okay. All right, let's say some good morning, see what y'all got. We appreciate you being there as always. Kelly Gross, Quentin Brakebill, John Ellis, good morning. Jeff McKithen, David Bass, good morning. Let's see. David Bass, still upset LSU didn't get to play Game 3. David, you got to let that go, brother. There is no sense in living life looking through the rearview mirror. It is over, dude. They're not going to play that game. So look forward. You got Kentucky this weekend, man. It's a good opportunity. It might be dodging some rain this weekend as well. Darren Reeves, good morning. Looking forward to tonight's matchup with Tulane. Go Tigers. Hey, Dad, good morning. Yeah, man. So Tulane, they're 3-3 in conference play. They took 2 or 3 from Memphis this past weekend. They dropped 2 or 3 to Florida in the opening weekend. Tulane is a very bad offensive team. They hit 237 as a team, just 37 homers, and their pitching staff has a cumulative 6.40 ERA. This is not a great Tulane team. They are 9-23 overall. Whatever we remember about Tulane back in the day, this ain't them. So Jay Johnson's trying to hype up this matchup as Tulane being better than their record says. No, they ain't. They're a bad baseball team, bro. You should go down there and take care of business today. All right, Trivia Carter, Hunter Broadhead, good morning. Do you think the Saints would trade up to the 3rd pick to take Will Anderson? I do not. Hunter, you got to keep in mind, trading up isn't necessarily look, it isn't impossible. The Saints do it often. But trading from 29 to 3 is much more difficult because you're asking whoever has the 3rd pick in the draft, and barring trades or whatever, to drop all the way down to 29. And that is decidedly less likely. When the Saints moved, I gave this example, when the Saints moved up to take Marcus Davenport, they went from 27 to 14. So very similar to where they are now. And they gave up the next year's 1 and I believe a 5. So they gave up, so they swapped 27 for 14, gave up a 5 that year and the following year's 1st round pick. So that was to go from 27 to 14. To go all the way up to 3, I mean, you just don't have the capital without including players and multiple years of 1st round picks. So no. And if I'm trading up to 3, it's not to take Will Anderson. If I'm trading up to 3, it's to take a quarterback. Jason H., good morning. Wendell Norman, Jason Mobile, good morning, Mac. You going after? No, I am not, Jason. He's asking about the dunks on the Nike app. It's 3 days of drops. I actually don't. I didn't like any of the I shouldn't say I didn't like them. Didn't like them enough to pay for them. So no, I'm not. Brett DeGrow, good morning from the Beau Rivage. Okay, dude. Good luck to you, man. Jesse Brown, good morning. Ready for the NFL draft. Ready to see what the Saints do. Yeah, they welcomed Devon A-Chain for a workout. If you missed it on AFR yesterday, Monday, I did a segment about running backs. And look, here's the bottom line. The Saints have an off-ramp for Kamara's contract after this season. And Jamal Williams, they signed to a 3-year deal, but really they have an off-ramp after year 2. So I think this is a year where, and understanding you're probably going to be without Kamara for at least 6 games, this is a year where you have to draft the guy that you think is going to be Alvin Kamara's replacement. So you have a deep, talented running back draft class. You have, you're going to have options to take really good players on day 2 or day 3. So trust your evaluation and go make it happen. Joey B19, is it not time to at least be concerned about our pitching depth? Yeah, Joey B, talked about that a lot yesterday on AFR here as well. And here's the thing. There's 2 ways to look at that, or to phrase that. And my whole general thesis was it's hard to see the forest through the trees. Despite all of the issues that we all talk about, all the warts, LSU is still consensus #1 team in the country. So the point is, it's not to say LSU doesn't have flaws. It's to say, so does everybody else. And with LSU, here's the good news. Ty Floyd and Thatcher Hurd, their stuff is still really good. Their command isn't. That's the problem. They're walking too many guys. They're hitting guys. They're giving away at-bats and putting men on base falling behind in counts, putting hitters in advantageous counts, throwing the ball over the plate, they're getting hit. So can those guys in their command round into form? If the answer is yes, then great. You have a dominant rotation. Look, if you're without Chase Shores and Garrett Edwards, you already lost Grant Taylor for the year, that obviously hurts a lot, no doubt. And it's compounded by the fact that Floyd and Hurd right now are not pitching very well. So, where are you at, Wes Johnson? Step up. Let's work with these pitchers. Let's get Hurd and Floyd back to form. And then you have enough arms. I mean, Gavin Guidry's emergence is encouraging. Griffin Herring's pitching really well. You have guys like Bryce Collins and Riley Cooper who have thrown a lot of innings for you in the past. You have other guys who've been around that you should be able to count on to get you out. So if it's Sam Dutton or Blake Money, Nate Ackenhausen, will come back from his hamstring injury. Jay Johnson said yesterday Javen Coleman will pitch this year, so you're going to get that arm back as well in some capacity. You've got plenty of arms. That's not the problem. You need to maximize the output of the guys you have, and that's what they're not doing right now, and they need to. Weston Weaver, good morning. Matt Plavidall, good morning. Waiting patiently to see if I officially am a postal employee. You have to pass 90-day probation. Once I do that, I'm golden. That should have happened last weekend on 4-1. Okay, dude. Well, good luck, man. Michael Castello, good morning. By the way, the Barksdale IPA was very good. Very cool. So I see Michael often at the store down the street. We live by each other. And I don't know what day that was, man. Was that Saturday? Or was that, maybe it was Friday. I think it was Friday. No, it was Saturday. It was Saturday. No, it was Friday. It was Friday evening, and walking in, see Michael, we're chatting, and while we're in the store, see another gentleman who I know, and it's like 1950s Americana. You just see everyone at the grocery store, and you just stop and talk and chat. But anyway, and so I go to introduce Michael to this other gentleman, and Michael says, I'm saying Michael Castello, and he says, Michael Castello. I'm like, Castello? I'm like, bro, all this time and you never corrected me? Like, tell me I'm saying your name wrong, bro. I've been saying Castello forever. And he says Castello. Anyway, I won't mess it up again. Cajun Country, huge shout out to Cajunomics. Love Call of Duty. How much longer do you think spring football stays around? Even when I played in the early 2000s, all it did was put guys at risk. Go Team Drew. Yeah, I don't think spring football is going anywhere. I think you just, because you need the on-field work, I think what you do is you modify. You reduce contact, and I think that's what you see more often now, is you just see guys that are injured, you don't rush them back. Star players who don't need the work, you don't put them at risk. And you just have fewer full contact practices. I mean, the opportunity to work on the field and work with the team is valuable. Any coach will tell you that. Those 15 practices are valuable. But at what cost? Obviously, you can reduce contact and, hopefully prevent some of those injuries. Jared Esprit, good morning. Just smash that like button. Thank you, bro. Yeah, please do me a solid. Smash the like button if you're there on YouTube. Subscribe up to the channel. Facebook, please like the Matt Scone page. Share the post. Thank y'all so much. Pat Houston, good morning. And we could possibly play South Carolina in Omaha. Sure. I mean, I didn't come away as impressed with South Carolina as a lot of you did. There are definitely two arguments to be made. One is Man, they crushed the baseball. They beat LSU 13-5, and LSU needed a dramatic rally to win game 2. Otherwise, South Carolina would beat them twice. True. Other side of it is, yeah, there was a lightning delay, which knocked Paul Skeens out of the game after 3 innings. But for that, if Skeens goes and shoves, like we've seen him do all year, and the LSU bats eventually get into the Carolina bullpen, which ultimately they did in that game, LSU probably wins it, which I think they would have. And I'll also say this again, that Carolina's approach was to elevate the baseball. On certain days, with certain conditions in certain parks, that's a great idea, great strategy. In that ballpark, it's very conducive to that strategy. It is not conducive to that in Omaha. I say that to say, if Carolina ends up playing regionals, super regionals at home, they got a great chance to win. They know their park, and they're built to play in that park. If they end up playing on the road, it's going to be decidedly more difficult because obviously playing on the road is tough, but also they may play in a park that's not conducive to their style. I told you this last week. It was like 2001 LSU, just the best example that comes to my mind because I was there for all 3 games. LSU played Tulane at Zephyr Field, and Tulane was a great team, made no mistake. But LSU hit a bajillion fly ball outs in that super regional. They kept elevating the baseball, and Tulane's outfielders were great, and they ran down everything, and the park held everything. So, where you play matters. Tim Gotro, Leon Williams, Brian Wynn, the guy Brooks Stewart, Angers, good morning. Green Z, hey Matt, have you heard anything about Haley Van Lith coming to LSU? Quite a few articles have been saying it's the best fit for her. So for those who don't know, Haley Van Lith was one of the nation's leading scorers this past year from Louisville. She entered the transfer portal. And yes, a lot of people are speculating she'll end up at LSU. Her, when she picked Louisville, one of her finalists was Baylor with Kim Mulkey. So there's a relationship there. And obviously, if you're LSU and you just lost Alexis Morris to the draft, there is a spot wide open to come in and be the starting point guard, and that would make an awful lot of sense. And you'd be joining a team that still has Angel Reese and a lot of the talent from this championship team. So, yeah, you lose Alexis Morris, you lose LaDasia Williams, who was drafted 17 overall last night. Congrats to her. But, yeah, I mean, I think it makes a ton of sense for all the reasons everybody said. I don't have any insight. I'm not calling Haley Van Lith to see what she's doing. I mean, I told y'all for several weeks LSU men's team was going to get good news with some local players, and you've seen it now, Jordan Wright and Jalen Cook. That had been in the works for a long time. There's one more, actually, that may drop. But yeah, it makes a lot of sense for Van Lith to come to LSU. I don't know, but I have no insight there as far as if it's going to happen or not. Anthony Court, did Brian Kelly give reason for splitting the spring football practice? He did. So thanks for the question. Essentially, if you missed it, they went out and had like 2 practices, and then had a long week off, and like didn't practice for about 10 days before they got back on the field. And the rule is you can have X amount of practices, but you can have X amount of practice of hours per week with your team. And so in extending spring ball another week, essentially, it allowed them more time, not on the field, but more time in meeting rooms and all that stuff with the team. So they were able to utilize, they basically manipulated the system to get more classroom and meeting room time with the players during this spring practice window. So instead of just saying, let's go out there for 4 weeks and practice 2 times during the week and then once on the weekend have the spring game and be done, wrap this thing up. He was like, okay, let's see if we can stretch this over 6 weeks. So you get an extra 2 weeks effectively of classroom time with the team. Bailey C, crazy to think it's been 3 months since the bowl game. Hey, man. Uh, Life goes quickly, bro. There's no greater reminder to that than during the season, bro. Like, we wait all year for the football season to come. It comes, and then all of a sudden, you blink and you're like, man, you're a quarter of the way through the season. You're halfway through the season. Man, there's only 3 games left. Yeah. Hashtag time. Truax, what's going on? Rick Manuel, good morning. Great to see Drew recently. Thanks, man. Drew's sleeping right. Drew's off of school this week, so is Erica. So they're sleeping right now, and I'm heading to Traction for 9 o'clock, so that's why I'm a little bit later here today. Kirk Taylor, Bart St. Germain, good morning, y'all. Good morning, good morning. Kirk, with the rain, the way you think LSU plays 2 on Friday. Well, Kirk, look, it's really hard to project that right now. But I know they'll monitor the weather. We've seen LSU do it. I mean, they did it with the Arkansas series, and unfortunately, they didn't do it this past weekend to get 2 games in on Thursday, which I think was possible. But could LSU do that? Sure. I mean, they'll do what they need to do to make sure they get it. They don't want to lose another, have another game not played in conference. So the answer to your question is. Do I think they will play 2 on Friday? I don't know. They'll keep monitoring the weather. If they need to get the series in, yes, they will. Kirk's schedule lightens up considerably after this weekend. LSU's offense can carry the team through May. That's a good way to put it, too. You have, and I think the way that I've said it is, you have the luxury after this weekend where, with the schedule lightening up considerably, you're not going to be as pitching dependent. Whenever you're facing Tennessee and they go Dolander, Burns, and Beam, you got to have 3 dudes pitching well. You saw what happened in Game 3 when Hurd couldn't throw the ball over the plate, right? He didn't record an out in the first inning. And you couldn't recover from that and they rallied. LSU rallied, but it was just they were too deep of a hole against a good team. You're not going to face a lot of truly elite arms the rest of the way. Especially because you miss Florida and Vanderbilt on the schedule. It's not to say that nobody's going to lock up this offense, but you should see the offense, as good as they've been, be even better down the stretch. And that should allow the pitchers time to get some confidence and develop roles. So, yes, I agree with you, Kurt. Bubba Smith, Jeremy Kling, good morning. All right, y'all, I think we might be about done. Is that it? As always, YouTube, smash that like button. Subscribe up to the channel if you would. Facebook, please like the page, share the post. Brought to you by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. If you need an orthopedist, go to Brock. All the subspecialties. We were there just a couple weeks ago with Drew. Dr. Brad Collada, best pediatric orthopedist in the state. Awesome dude. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. I want to keep reminding you, Hudco's pinned there in the chat. I want to keep reminding you that if you haven't done so yet, you need to educate yourself on fortified roofing. The state legislature, which is in session now, is considering legislation to make fortified roofing mandatory in this state. Mississippi's already done it. And I'll oversimplify it. A fortified roof is just another process when you're installing the roof to make it more secure and essentially to prevent water damage in the house. You can still have wind damage to your roof, but it's essentially saying, all right, well, we could replace a roof, but then it gets really costly for insurance when you replace the roof, but then there's water in the house and you got to replace sheetrock and carpet and contents and all that stuff. That's one of the reasons we have the giant insurance crisis right now. So massive insurance savings when you install a fortified roof. So learn more at HudcoRoofing.com, HudcoRoofing.com. All right, last one. Guy Brooks, excuse me. Matt, will LSU softball sell out tonight against Oklahoma? Yes. Let's go yes. Go buy your tickets. Get out there to Tiger Park and support the girls. All right. Let's bounce, y'all. Have an awesome day. Thanks so much for watching. LSU Daily is already live and AFR today at 3. So Check it out if and or when you can. Okay. We'll see you. Peace.